Crown Chevrolet in Rolla. Great buys this week in National Supermarket, like the famous Grade A frozen honeysuckle turkey, any size, just 29 cents a pound with a $50 purchase. Plus variety of Del Monte vegetables, 4 for $1. And buy one 12-count Colonial Brown and Serve rolls at $1.89, get one free. These great savings and more at National Supermarket in the Forum Plaza of Rolla.
Well, the Rolla High School Bulldogs, coached by Gary Miles. He's in his 7th year here at Rolla High School, and this is the position that he took one of his teams from Centralia High School to a semifinal playoff game. Lost at that level. It's the 4th time at Centralia that he went to the playoffs, and he's now taken the Dogs to 2 playoffs here, and hopefully this is going to be just the final step to that 14th game, which will be played next Friday afternoon. Athletic Director John Edgar down on the field, and he has done a great job with his crew, getting the field ready, getting the stadium ready to host this semifinal game, the biggest football game to be played in Rolla in quite some time. Down on the field a few minutes ago, talked with Coach Gary Miles. Of course, he was our guest this morning on the Rolla High School Coaches Show, and talked about the ball game this afternoon and what he expects from Excelsior Springs.
I guess the biggest football game ever in Rolla High football history coming up in a few minutes. An exciting time here.
Well, no doubt. Tremendous crowd, tremendous enthusiasm. Regardless of the situation, it's been an outstanding community effort, both financially as far as physical support of being at the ball games, and a lot of extra work has been done, and we hope we carry through with our best 48 minutes of the year.
Let's talk about the Tigers from Excelsior Springs. What type of league do they play in, and can you tell us what you know about the Tigers?
Well, it's a good quality football league, and really the league wouldn't make a whole lot of difference at this point. If they've reached the semifinals of the state, they're an outstanding ball club, and we have total respect for them. Their only loss is to Liberty, a 5A school who was a playoff ball club. So we know they play solid football. Defensively, very aggressive, hard-hitting style of football, very similar to that of Ozark and Neosho. And offensively, very explosive with misdirection. Not necessarily the big play. It's created by counters, traps, and play-action pass. So we're going to have to play very disciplined on defense, do a good job attacking.
And for the Bulldogs on offense, we're going to stick to what got us here, right?
Well, there's no doubt about it. I'm sure they're going to force the line of scrimmage on us and challenge us, and our offensive line will have its work cut out for us. If we move the football on the ground like I think we're capable of doing, we should be able to control the line of scrimmage and hopefully have a positive outcome.
Okay, good luck, Coach.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Head coach of the Rolla Bulldogs, and he said nothing really new, Jimmy, that we haven't heard all year long. If we can run the ball like we know we can, then he thinks we'll be okay. And, well, we did that down at Neosho. We did it at Ozark. We've done it all year through 10 regular season games, so no reason to expect that we won't be able to do it again this afternoon.
One of the big secrets to that, Tom, has been the offensive line this year. At times, they have been just dominating out there, and you have to look at their sizes. They're not we don't have the biggest offensive line in the world, but they seem to know exactly how to get the job done when it needs to be done. I think Coach Miles and his coaching staff have given them some incentives, and when they seem to have that in front of them, they know exactly how to get it done. They go out there, and they've been opening up those holes for Singleton and Cowan and even Satterley and Anderson. So the Bulldogs' offensive line is a big key here this afternoon.
Well, here come the Tigers from Excelsior Springs onto the football field through a lineup of their fans and cheerleaders from out of the north end zone. They are in very plain-looking uniforms, black pants and the gold jerseys, the black helmets, and they now are gathering at the center of the field as they run through the line. It was a little sight game going on, I think, which team came out of the dressing room last, and Rolla's home field, I guarantee you the Bulldogs would have stayed in there until they were pushed out by the officials, because they will be the last team coming onto the field this afternoon.
Today's starting lineups are being furnished by Heilig Myers. We furnish America. We're Heilig Myers. We'll have the starting lineups in a moment. Starting lineups for today's game for the Rolla Bulldogs on offense. First of all, at tight end, Charlie Barr is a sophomore. He weighs in at 200 pounds. At the split end spot, it's Tony Arthur, 185-pound sophomore. On the starting line, Beckett center is the center. He's a senior, 195 pounds. At the two guard spots, Brian Mensch at left guard, 205 pounds and a senior. At right guard, Dallas Mace, 205 pounds and a senior as well. At the left tackle, it's Steve Sampson, a 235-pound senior. And at the right tackle, David Bates, a senior at 255. At the quarterback, Andy Anderson, senior, 185 pounds. We have a sophomore starting fullback in Turk Satterley, who weighs in at 170. Tailback is Andy Singleton, 165-pound senior. And the other tailback, Matt Cowan, 180-pound senior.
Well, Jimmy, the Bulldogs have come out of the dressing room. They've taken the walk across the parking lot. They've gone down the grade, and here they come through the sign and onto the field. The Rolla High School Bulldogs ranked second in the state, undefeated, 12 wins, no losses, as they prepare to play host to the Tigers from Excelsior Springs in this semifinal 4A playoff game here at Lions Memorial Field. The balloons have been released, and it's going to be a great football game that is now just minutes away from the kickoff here at Lions Memorial.
To finish the starting lineups, we'll give the Rolla defense this time. We very rarely get to do that for Coach Gary Miles and defensive coordinator Doc Roberts, but four of those fellas starting on defense for the Bulldogs today. At the left end, it's Brian Lewis, a senior at 180 pounds. At the nose guard, Terry Montgomery, 190-pound junior. At the defensive tackle, Brian Poe, a 210-pound senior. And at the other tackle spot, Sean Manning, a junior at 230 pounds. At one linebacker, it's Steve Smith, 170 pounds. He's a senior. Middle linebacker, Dean DeShirley, a senior, and he weighs in at 190. The other linebacker spot, Keith Peterson, a 210-pound sophomore. In the defensive backfield, at strong safety, Chris Davison, 160 pounds, and he is a senior. At cornerback, Matt Steelman, 180 pounds and a senior. Free safety is Chris Cottrell, a senior, and he weighs in at 175. And at the other cornerback, it's Kevin Barr, 160 pounds and a sophomore. Those are today's starting lineups, furnished by Heilig Myers, Highway 63 South in Rolla. We furnish America. We're Heilig.
At Rolla High School, Jeff Sandquist, the director, and we are just moments away from the officials meeting at the center of the field with the captains for this ball game. This is Tom Colvin reminding you about Show Me Bowl 94. You'll see this year's final two teams in Class 3A, 4A, and 5A going for the state championships. Show Me Bowl 94 will be held on November 25th and 26th at Faroe Field in Columbia. See high school football action at its best. Show Me Bowl 94, November 25th and 26th. For ticket information, contact your local high school, the Missouri State High School Activities Association, or your local State Farm agent. Jimmy, one thing that is noticeable, that is definitely different between these two teams, is the way they approach the utilization of their players during the ball game. Bulldogs started way back at the start of the season, platooning and using as many as 30, 35 players on a regular basis, and the Tigers from Excelsior Springs this afternoon will be starting a total of 8 players on both offense and defense that will be going both ways. They have just 10 seniors on their roster, 13 juniors. It is a sophomore-dominated team with 31 sophomores. They start 7 of those 10 seniors, so they will not be using nearly as many players as the Bulldogs will be using with their platoon system.
Very surprising to see so many or so few seniors and juniors in a semi-final ball club like this, being sophomore laden as they are, but still a very good ball club, and they seem to have played some good competitions this year. This is not going to be any type of easy task at all for the Bulldogs this afternoon, and I'm sure that Coach Miles has got that instilled in his ball players' heads. This is not going to be a cakewalk. We had said that we thought that the toughest schedule for the Bulldogs, or the toughest part of this playoffs, would be the first couple of games, if they could get through those districts. Now I look back, and I'm not so sure, because we got to play this club here from Excelsior Springs, and they look big, and at some skill positions very fast. It's going to be a whale of a ball game today.
Well, the captains are meeting at the center of the field, shaking of hands between the captains, and 4 representing each team, the Bulldogs and the Tigers, and then the other members of the senior class for the Rolla High Bulldogs standing behind their captains. But the referee has stepped in. He'll be flipping the coin that will determine who will get the choice here to start this ball game. They are at midfield, and there's the flip of the coin. The official has made the catch, and he'll be giving us the signal in just a moment on who has won the toss. Indication is that the toss has been won, I think, by Excelsior Springs, and they have won the toss. Now they will be making the decision, and the referee has line them up north and south, and Excelsior Springs will receive the opening kickoff. They'll defend the south goal. The Bulldogs will kick off to start this ball game. So the Bulldog defense will be tested right from the very start this afternoon as they get ready to try to stop the likes of Wes Simmons, an excellent running back, and also a very good misdirection type of runner. They have 2 other fine running backs, one by the name of Smith and Brock Smith. He is a powerful type of runner. And then the quick member of their backfield is Daniel Bamfield. And then again, the quarterback that runs the operation is Brock Nessa. Bulldogs defense, the front 4, Lewis, Poe, Montgomery, and Manning. And then, of course, on the corners, there's Davison and Smith, along with DeShirley and Hurst in the linebacking core, Stillman, Cottrell, and Barr. They will be called upon again to stop a very good football team from Excelsior Springs. We're just moments away from the opening kickoff here at KTTR Rolla.
Triad's Office City is your one-stop store for printing, office supplies, Konica copiers, and office furniture. Triad's experience and expertise can solve almost any need you have around the office. Give Triad an opportunity to show you how good old-fashioned service still works. Triad's Office City, Highway 63 South in Rolla. The Swope Chiropractic Office offers tailored exercise programs, chiropractic adjustments, muscle therapy, and individualized stretching programs. They treat the source of the problem, not just the symptoms. Call the Swope Chiropractic Office for an appointment at 341-9995.
The Rolla Bulldogs will be kicking off. They'll kick from north to south. That is left to right as you look at your radio. The ball will be put near the hash mark to the right side by Michael Weinkauf, who will handle the kickoff duties. Back deep will be Brock Smith, and he will also be back with Wes Simmons. And they are the 2 deep, standing back around the 5-yard line, now moving up to about the 10-yard line as Weinkauf marks it off, gets ready to start this game with his soccer-style kick. There's the whistle. He approaches the ball, and the kick is going to be short. It's coming down to Wes Simmons at the 11, 15. He's out to the 20, to the 25, hitting down at about the 26, 27-yard line. Wes Simmons on the kickoff return from the 11 to the 27, so he gets a 16-yard return, and that is where the Tigers from Excelsior Springs will have it first down and 10 yards to go with the Rolla Bulldog defense on the field.
Good coverage downfield. Steve Smith and Kevin Barr both there to wrap up Simmons.
Powles will be the lone receiver, and they line up in that wing T formation. Quarterback Nessa will take the snap, and he's going to keep the ball, hand it off to the wingback, who breaks the tackle, comes out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Hit initially in the backfield by the Bulldogs, but Simmons, the wingback, comes up limping also, we might report, for Excelsior Springs, but gets about 4 yards on first down.
He got by Sean Manning, who had a shot at him, but couldn't get his arms free from his blocker, and so he bumped off of him and then ended up getting about 3 or 4 yards. It was finally DeShirley who came over and wrapped him up.
Second down, almost 6 yards to go for the first down from the 31-yard line for the Tigers. Now they split their backfield, and the handoff, they want to throw the ball on second down. The pass is caught out of the backfield. First down up the sideline, out of bounds at about the 44-yard line in Tiger territory. But a good job of hitting the man on the sidelines, and he went out right at the 44-yard line. It is a first down.
Well, they ran play action that time, Tom, and Shane Hurst, the linebacker for the Bulldogs, bid on the play action, and then when he did, the receiver coming out of the backfield got open, got past him, and a good pass that time by Nessa, right on the money.
Again, they set the wing this time to the left side. They'll split their backs. Quarterback Nessa is going to hand off. They got a hold to the 45, to the 50, 45, 40, 35, to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown on the first run for Brock Smith from the line of scrimmage, and he goes the distance, a 56-yard touchdown run by Brock Smith.
Ran that just a straight off tackle play, really. Nothing fancy about that at all, but they caught the Bulldogs guarding on the long side of the field. Once he got past the initial line of scrimmage, he really didn't have much of anything back there. Matt Steelman had a halfway decent angle on him, but just couldn't catch up with him. Smith showing some good speed down the sidelines.
So the Rolla High Bulldogs fall behind early, and they will go for the extra point kick. The snap, the hold, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So we have timeout on the field. 10 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and the score, Excelsior Springs 7, Rolla Bulldogs nothing.
Investment Realty is truly a full-service real estate company with departments and sales of residential, commercial, and farm properties, plus a complete rental department of homes, apartments, commercial space, and even self-storage. Call Investment Realty at 364-8111. They're at 1703 North Bishop in Rolla. When shopping for your next vehicle, Schweiss Motors invites you to see their great selection of quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and vans. Schweiss Motors, 629 Highway 63 South, or give them a call at 364-0508. Schweiss Motors, the oldest name in automobiles in the Rolla area.
Nothing fancy with Excelsior Springs' 56-yard touchdown run by Brock Smith. He just took the handoff, and there was a big hole open for him, and he showed a lot of speed. He's a very hard runner. Also, at 195 pounds, senior showed some speed that time.
He really did, and it was a good block on the end by their tackle, who really sealed off basically two players from getting over there to get to Smith as he got through the line of scrimmage. He got both Lewis and the linebacker Hurst, and neither one of them guys could get over there to stop the play. Once he got a full head of steam going, there was no stopping.
Chris Cottrell is back deep for the Bulldogs. He currently stands at the 6-yard line. Putting the ball on the tee is Chad Bishop, a 5'11", 203-pound offensive guard and linebacker. He is a senior. As Excelsior Springs will kick off, leading 7-0. His kick is a line drive affair to Cottrell. It's going to hit in front. He picks it up at the 4. Return to the 10, 15, out to the 20, and he goes across the 25 to about the 26-yard line, and it's brought down at that point by Chad Bishop, who kicked it off. And now we have a flag by the referee, a late flag, and it is a personal foul against the Rolla Bulldogs. So Rolla said something, did something after the play. A dead ball, a personal foul, and they will be penalized all the way back to about the 11-yard line.
Well, Coach Miles talking to Chris Cottrell, and I don't know if he was the person or not. There were 3 or 4 Bulldogs there, and we won't find out who it was, but somebody said something as they came out of the pile, and the Bulldogs are going to start way back in the hole now.
The official gives the signal, too much chatter, too much talk, and they're not going to allow that by any team here this afternoon, and rightfully so. Well, they are going to move it back really to about the 13-yard line, so the Bulldogs have to get a good spot on the football at about the 13. Have the distance to the goal. And they'll show the power line formation. Anderson spins, handoff, goes to the tailback, and they Singleton picks up on the play about 3 yards. It's going to be second down, and we'll call it 7 yards to go for the first down. 10:19, clock moving, first quarter, 7-0, Tigers leading the Bulldogs. Light's been on since way before the start of this ball game. It's very cloudy and overcast, but it is not raining. Quarterback's going to give to Cowan, tries to cut upfield, head of the backfield, gets beat around the 17-yard line, and that is it. A swarming defense, and there to make the hit is Joey Branson, a sophomore, 179-pound defensive back.
They've got some pretty big fellas up front. The defensive line is really what has held them to their own. They've got a big nose guard in Andy Schneider, weighs in at over 250, and he really causes some problems up there, especially when he's up against Beckett Center, who's at 190 pounds.
And Tucker Woolsey is going to be a load for the Bulldogs offensive line. Third down, still about 7, and the Bulldogs run a little trap up the middle. Chuck Satterley down the first 2, and first down for the Bulldogs. They had into the backfield that time. The penetration came from Daniel Bamfield and got back for where there's just a 2-yard loss instead of about a 6-yard loss.
Bamfield lined up at a quarterback spot, but with just the 2 tight ends in there, the Bulldogs had the full house set. Bamfield really was a linebacker, and he came plowing through and really disrupted.
Second down, 12 yards to go for the Bulldogs. At their 23-yard line, Andy Anderson has thrown the ball for the first time, looking for when you get to this level also, along with playing good football, and Excelsior Springs trying to jump out to a big lead here in the first quarter. Already on top, 7-0, 7:45, clock moving. Trying to take advantage of the turnover on the pass interception. Now they'll send a man in motion, the split. They pitch it back to the tailback. He's got the corner. He's got maybe a yard or 2, and that's it. Bulldogs did a good job to seal it off, force them inside, and when they had to run the ball inside, there wasn't a whole lot of yardage there for Bamfield and for the ball carrier, Brock Smith.
Well, they had Blevins on this side, and he went in motion toward the line of scrimmage, and just as he got close to it, that's when the ball was hiked. And he pins in the defensive end. That's supposed to be the seal block there as they pitch it out. But the rest of the Bulldog pursuit was excellent on that play, and they only get a couple of yards.
Nessa, the quarterback, goes to the sidelines and gets his play from the head coach verbally on every snap. After he hands off, he hits with the sideline while the rest of the play is going on. So Nessa has the wing set to the right. They go with the quick opener, 5 to the touchdown. Boy, they went inside, hand off to Bamfield, and he was only hit once, and it did not knock his momentum off as he rammed in for the score from 7 yards out.
Going outside. They finally went inside and found plenty of room out there. It really never stopped until he got to the goal line, and then he fell in, and the Bulldogs are really going to be working uphill today.
And Daniel Bamfield makes it 13-0. And they will have the extra point kick coming. It's high, and it is good through the uprights by Chris Markham as he kicked it out onto 10th Street. timeout on the field. 6 minutes and 50 seconds remain in the first quarter, and it's Excelsior Springs 14, Rolla Bulldogs nothing.
Hillcrest Pharmacy and Optical can help you when the injury bug strikes. They have braces for wrists, ankles, knees, elbows, and even neck. Even crutch rental for only $2 a week. Hillcrest Pharmacy and Optical, Highway 72 in Rolla. Marsha Ram, agent for American Family Insurance, invites you to stop by her office at 708 Highway 63 South in Rolla. Offering home, health, auto, business, life insurance, and loans. For professional yet personal service, see Marsha Ram, American Family Insurance. All your family's protection under one roof. 364-8885.
Well, the Rolla Bulldogs have their work cut out for them. They have fallen behind here early, 14-0. And will be receiving their second kickoff. And just now getting the tee and coming onto the field is Chad Bishop, who will be kicking off. Last time he line drived it down to around the 10-yard line, where it bounced and then was picked up by Cottrell. A couple of no-nos on that before the last score. The 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, too much talking, and then also the interception, of course, leading to good field position and a score. Here comes the kick again. They line drive it down to Cottrell at the 10. He's out to the 20, 25, to the 30, 35, 40, 45. Cottrell out here mid-course. Great return by Chris Cottrell. He hasn't had a lot here in the second half of the season, but boy, he got some great blocking on the sidelines and brought it all the way upfield to the 49-yard line in Excelsior Springs territory.
Well, the outside contained man for Excelsior Springs made a no-no, and he tried to cut it inside and try to make the tackle, and he bought the fake by Cottrell. When he did that, Cottrell just started outside and had the old side.
So the Rolla Bulldogs from the 49-yard line in Tiger territory. Power I right side. Quarterback hands off to Cowan. Cowan finds a hole. He cuts it down. He's outside the 38-yard line. First down for the Rolla Bulldogs.
What a nice run that time by Cowan, who had to find the right seam to cut up. They really strung it out pretty well, but then he found a nice hole and then cut back. Got it across the 40 and got tripped up about the 38-yard line, and the Bulldogs hopefully can get this momentum going back their way.
6.5 minutes remaining. First quarter, Excelsior Springs 14, Bulldogs nothing. Power I right side. They run it to the right side to Andy Singleton. He finds his way down to about the 35-yard line. Pickup of almost 4 yards on first down by the Bulldogs.
Well, one good thing that I see here as far as the Bulldogs are doing, they're not panicking. They're 14 points down. We saw the same situation when we played Salem. We were down 14 in the first half. So they know that they can come back from this. They are not out of the ball game at all.
The ball is just outside the 35, so officially call it the 36-yard line. About a 4-yard pickup. Second down, long 6 to go. And the Bulldogs hand the ball off to Cowan. Hit in the backfield, and down he goes. Also a flag on the play from where you normally see a holding or a clipping penalty against the offensive unit. There was a loss of about 2 on the play. It is a holding penalty against the Bulldogs. Remember, we had several holding penalties in that long 10-minute drive that we still scored on down at Neosho. Now, will they decline the penalty and make it third down and about 8-9 yards to go for the first down, or will they push the Dogs back? The flag went down at the 34-yard line, so the referee is going to pick up the ball and they will mark off the penalty. Now they're trying to determine where to mark the penalty off from. So they will mark it off from the flag, which is just at the 34-yard line. So the penalty is a 10-yarder. That'll take it back just outside the 45, marked off from the line of scrimmage. 5 minutes, 45 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Excelsior Springs leading 14-0 over the Bulldogs. Bulldogs with the football in Tiger territory following an excellent kickoff return by Chris Cottrell. But now the penalty makes it second down and 16 yards to go. Quarterback hands off, and Cowan gets back to the line of scrimmage, picks up a yard, and that is it. So the Bulldogs that time did not fool very many. And there was good coverage downfield on the receivers, so even though it was a running play, they had good coverage plus the line defensively doing the job for Excelsior Springs.
Actually, a little surprising defensive set that time with the run and shoot. They had man-to-man coverage on everybody and then a strong safety back, but the linebackers all really close to the line of scrimmage, so that play really wasn't destined to make a lot of yards.
4:55, clock moving on 3rd down and 15 for the Bulldogs. On the run and shoot, they want to throw the ball. Anderson looking, dancing, firing downfield. Got a man open.
He got behind Mansfield. Mansfield on the quarterback spot came up. I think he thought that Anderson was going to run there for a second. And that split second let Smith get behind him. Really, the pass underthrown, and he had to stop and catch the ball and then make a couple of moves on the safety who was coming over to help double cover. But the Bulldogs are on the board as Smith started in.
And the extra point kick coming up by Miles. High snap, but the kick is up, and it is good. Timeout on the field. 4 minutes, 42 seconds remaining. We're in the first quarter. Excelsior Springs 14, Rolla Bulldogs 7.
Roger Adams GM Center invites you to their boot scooting sale. They're booting out the 94s. Plus, for the first 10 buyers, a $100 gift certificate toward a pair of boots from Circle G Western Wear. It's a heel of a deal at Roger Adams GM Center, Highway 63 South in Rolla. Culligan of Rolla offers you an alternative to hard water, and they'll save you money too. With soft water, see how you can start saving money today. Call Culligan of Rolla for a free water analysis at 364-3985. 364-3985.
Well, we've already seen 21 points put on the board, and we still have 4:42 remaining in the first quarter. Touchdown pass, Andy Anderson to Steve Smith, 44 yards. Travis Miles' extra point cuts the lead in half. It's now 14-7. And the Bulldogs to kick off. Michael Weinkoff puts the ball on the tee, and back deep to receive will be Wes Simmons along with Brock Smith. And here comes the kick, and it's a short kick, and it's going to be fielded and stepping out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. And that's where they get the football at that point, 27-yard line it looks. Why he just fielded in and stepped out of bounds, I'm not real sure, and didn't even attempt to run the ball upfield. He had some running room.
Well, either one thing, he just figured out catch it and just step out, and we've got good field position because it was a short, high kick, or he thought it was already out of bounds, and he was just going to field it for the heck of it, and then look down, and there he was walking out of bounds.
If he lets it go out of bounds, they get it at the 35-yard line. But as it is, they start at the 27. And they show this time a split backfield and two wide receivers, so a different look. They hand it to the first back. He fights his way and breaks tackles and comes all the way out to the 33, 34-yard line. Daniel Bamfield hit in the backfield, Jimmy, but he bounced off a couple of tackles. You got to wrap up at this level.
Yeah, these guys really seem to be very strong runners when they get their hands on the ball. I don't know, I believe it was either Manning or Lewis, one of those guys bombing through the line. Really had a shot at dropping him for a couple of 3-yard loss, but couldn't hold it.
5-yard pickup, second down, 5 yards to go from the 33.5-yard line. Split backfield, the wing is set to the right, handoff to the wing back, and hit at the line of scrimmage, and down he goes. That was great defense that time by the Bulldogs, and the man there making the hit was Dean DeShirley.
DeShirley from his linebacker spot on the other side. He followed the wingman coming through, and it's an inside trap handoff to him, and he came up through the hole, and there was DeShirley waiting for him, upends him, and he gets maybe about a half a yard on the play.
So third down, we'll call it about 5 to go for the first down. This time they have a wing set to the right side. They split the back to the left. The quarterback wants to throw the ball. He had a man wide open downfield, but he goes short, gets the first down. He went again to the tight end, Blevins, but man, they had out of the backfield, wide open downfield Simmons. He would have had an easy touchdown if he had elected to go long.
They like to really bunch up people in one area and try to get the defense confused, and the last 2 times they've run that, or the only 2 times they've run it, they've had the defensive players over there not knowing which way to go. And you're right, Tom. Simmons went upfield, and the cornerback started to come upfield toward the tight end, and then looked back, and there was a wide receiver heading down the sidelines. If the quarterback sees him, that's a touchdown.
Simmons now splits out wide to the right. They have a wide receiver left, and they run the ball, and they got a hold to about the 47-yard line. Pickup of another 4 or 5 on first down. And they are spreading the Bulldogs in the secondary pretty thin once they get past the line of scrimmage, and causing the Bulldogs some defensive problems. So some substitutions being made along the front for the Bulldogs.
Well, more than anything, we've seen a couple plays they've run the same, but they have really mixed it up very well, Tom, with Smith and Granfield and Simmons all carrying a couple of times each. Smith has 3 carries, so they're mixing it up, and the defense is on their heels.
Second down, about 5 yards to go for the first down. Now, so an I formation, give it to the tailback, hit at the line of scrimmage, but carries a couple of Bulldogs with him across the 50 to the 49-yard line, and they'll be looking at third down and short yardage for a first down. Just powerful running that time by Brock Smith.
Yeah, and he was met there by Scotty Myers, and he just drove Myers back and ended up getting 3 or 4 yards on it.
Third down and a little over a yard to go as Nessa goes to the sidelines to get the play. Brock Nessa, 5'10", 175-pound senior quarterback. He'll send out wide Travis Powles. He goes to the right side. The wingback this time will be Wes Simmons, set to the left side. The quarterback on 3rd and 1 will take it and hands the ball off, and it is very close to a first down. Depends on the spot of the football and whether or not they have it. Might be close enough for a 4th down play even if they don't get the first down.
It will
and
be.
It is a measurement.
It will be very close.
So the referee will stop the clock. 1 minute 55 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, and they'll bring in the chains to check for the measurement. And again, if he does not have a first down, I'm sure close enough that they would probably go for it at the 48-yard line. Now they are getting ready to stretch it out, and it is going to be short by about a length of the football.
Well, with the rushing attack that they have, I'm sure they feel very confident that they can get about half a foot here on 4th down. Bulldog defense, though, this is their chance to make amends for the couple of times that they've let them in the end zone. If they can stop them here, Bulldogs definitely have the momentum arrow in their favor.
14-7, Tigers leading the Bulldogs. They come to the line of scrimmage. They'll put the wing on the left side and line up in the I formation behind Nessa, the quarterback. Nessa takes, he's got to pitch it. They try to come wide, and they got the corner. They got the first down the sidelines, knocked out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. So instead of going up the middle and bunching it up, they decided to go with the pitch back to the wide side. Brock Smith out of the tailback position gets much more than needed for the first down, all the way to the 34-yard line.
And that's just a good call and a good job by their offensive line to blow our players back and seal them off. Pitching the ball outside, he really had the first down before anybody ever got close to it.
Now we have an official's timeout, a helmet problem for one of the Bulldog players down on the 30-yard line. So that stops the clock with 1 minute 29 seconds to go. Excelsior Springs has the lead, 14-7. Helmet situation has now been corrected. And it's first down, 10 yards to go. Back to the wing T formation. Quarterback spins and wants to throw the ball wide open downfield. There's the pass. It is incomplete. Cottrell knocked the ball away from Wes Simmons on a one-on-one. So a great defensive play by Chris Cottrell to get over just in time to knock the ball away.
Well, you know, Simmons came back to the huddle a while ago and said, listen, I'm wide open over there. Nobody went with me. Well, Cottrell that time was right over there, coming over from his free safety spot. The quarterback read the cornerback, who came up on the play and covered the tight end. So he thought he had a touchdown as well. He threw it right on the money, but Cottrell right there to knock it away.
Second down and 10 yards to go. This time they're going to send Simmons out as a wide receiver, put Powles in the slot, line up in the I formation, and now they'll send back in motion. There's the pitch as they try to go right, hit on the backfield. Big loss to the 41-yard line. The defensive play made by Brian Lewis. He came flying into the backfield to knock him back for about a 5-yard loss.
Lewis saw that play all the way. In fact, a 7-yard loss. They pitched it out, and Lewis just came blasting through there and met him. And that's really the first time that we've seen a one-on-one tackle by the Bulldogs where they have met the Excelsior Springs runner and just knocked him down.
Bamfield had nowhere to go but down at the 41-yard line, so it is a 7-yard loss. Going to be third down. They need 16-17, so they'll split their backfield and will send Powles to the left, and they send Simmons out to the right. Quarterback Nessa will drop back in the pocket. The rush is on. He's hit. The ball is up for grabs. Should be intercepted. It's picked up by Steelman. He's at the 40. That Steelman is tackled it down at about the 37-yard line. But the Rolla Bulldogs have taken over on the interception.
Shirley of Holston got right on Nessa just as he threw it, and it went right up in the air. Lewis was back there, and I think more than anything, probably Steelman called him away, because if Lewis comes back there more than anything, you'll probably see an incomplete pass. So Lewis backed off, and Steelman came up with it, and then trying to cut across the field, got tripped up, but the Bulldog defense shows up big.
18 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Power I formation. Bulldogs are going to keep it on the ground, and they bring it out to the 40-yard line. Pickup of about 3 yards on first down on what should be the last play of the first quarter. Andy Singleton, the ball carrier. An injured player on the field as they stop the clock with 1 second remaining. And the injured player is for Excelsior Springs. He's right at the 40-yard line and down on the field at that point. So the official stopped it with 1 second remaining, stopping the clock. So it looks like we will get one more play, unless they should start the clock before the ball is snapped. And they're calling for Dr. Myers from the Rolla High sidelines coming onto the field to assist the trainers and coaching staff of Excelsior Springs. The player is down on his back right now.
Checking numbers, Tom, I think that's a linebacker, Chad Bishop.
He's the kicker also, yeah. And he gets up. He got the, I think, he's limping off the field right now, but he took a shot in there on the tackle right at the 40-yard line. Now they will get ready to start that clock as the field, when the field is cleared. Referee giving the signal to wind it up, and that ends the first quarter of play. So after 1 quarter of play here at Lions Memorial Field, the score, Excelsior Spring Tigers 14, Rolla Bulldogs 7.
If you're looking for value, selection, and reliability, you're looking for Seller, Sexton, Mitsubishi, featuring the all-new 95 Eclipse, improved with dual airbags, hot new looks, and even hotter performance. Stop by and experience the sport coupe that overshadows all the others. Seller, Sexton, Mitsubishi, Highway 63 South in Rolla. Some of today's best special effects aren't just in the movies. They're also found in Sprint United Telephone's local phone service. Sprint United Telephone's digital switching centers are bringing faster and more reliable phone service to more neighborhoods. Sprint United Telephone, here to serve you. Just call Sprint United Telephone.
Well, the Bulldogs have the ball in great position. They'll have second down, about 7 yards to go at their own 40-yard line as they start the second quarter of play. They'll be moving now from the south to the north, and that's from right to left. Excelsior Springs jumped out to a 7-0 lead with 10:54 remaining in the first quarter on a 56-yard run by Brock Smith. They increased that lead 14-0 on a 7-yard run by Daniel Bamfield following an interception. Bulldogs came right back on a 44-yard touchdown pass from Andy Anderson to Steve Smith, and now the Bulldogs have intercepted a pass from Nessa and have the football. Second down and 7 yards to go at the 40-yard line in Bulldog territory. Power I formation set to the right side as we get ready to start the second quarter. Quarterback wants to throw the ball. Anderson's got a man wide open. The pass is just off the fingertips of Charlie Barr. And look downfield, folks, wide open behind the defense at the 30-yard line with Steve Smith again.
And boy, oh boy, I tell you what, we had another touchdown to Steve Smith there. If he sees him, he busted open just as soon as he threw the ball, though, so you can't fault Andy on that. But he came through about 3 players, and then after the play was over with, you saw 3 or 4 Excelsior Spring players looking at each other, pointing fingers, wondering, how come that guy's wide open down there 10 yards behind us?
And Charlie came so close to making the reception at the 40-yard line. Now the Bulldogs third down and long, and hit and down is Matt Cowan after picking up maybe a yard on the play to the 41-yard line, and there was good defensive penetration that time from Scott Odell, a 5'11", 212-pound defensive tackle for Excelsior Springs. Bulldogs forced into a punting situation. So the Bulldogs on fourth down and 7 will have to line up and kick this ball away. And handling the kicking duties this afternoon for the Bulldogs will be Andy Anderson, who normally does not kick, but he will be kicking this afternoon. Fourth down and 7, standing at his 25-yard line, waiting for the snap. Good snap. Here they come. The kick is off, and it's a good high kick. It's going to hit at the 25, bounces inside the 20, will go down at the 15-yard line. Excellent job on the punt by Andy Anderson, and Excelsior Springs pinned back now at their 15-yard line with 11 minutes, 1 second remaining here in the second quarter.
In the first quarter, statistic-wise, Tom, the Rolla Bulldogs with 72 yards total offense, 28 rushing on 8 attempts, only 1 completion, but of course that was the 44-yard pass to Anderson. for Excelsior Springs, 93 yards rushing. They're over their average for their, if they keep on this pace, they'll be close to 400 a game. 11 carries, 93 yards rushing, 33 yards on the passing.
They've been averaging 303 yards a ball game on the ground. Now they have a little assignment on where they should be on the field, and a timeout is called by Brock Nessa. They did not have the proper alignment. They kept trying to move people around, and Nessa says, okay, timeout. Enough is enough, so they stop the clock, use their first of 3 allotted timeouts here in the half. 10 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the second quarter. It's Excelsior Spring Tigers 14, Rolla Bulldogs 7.
You can ask Missouri Cellular today about how you can enjoy Cybertel's free weekend and evening calling. Stop by or call Missouri Cellular for details. Missouri Cellular, Highway 63 North in Rolla. Have you reviewed your auto or homeowner policies for adequate limits and coverage before renewing your present policies? Be sure to see the professionals at Jenks Long Insurance. Jenks Long Insurance, 810 Pine Street in downtown Rolla, or call Jenks Long Insurance at 364-1414.
Well, some of the fans opted to sit on their front porch across 10th Street and watch the game. Others are just standing in the front yards across the street watching the game. We have people standing along the fence line outside the stadium up on the parking lot area watching the game. And then, of course, people in all of the seats that are available, and also on the banks along the sides here on the west side of the stadium. Have the Tigers pinned back at their 15-yard line, need big defensive plays to keep them deep in their own territory. Now they send a man in motion, and the quarterback's going to hand off right up the middle, huge hold, and then knocked down after they crossed the 21 to about the 22-yard line. And it was just a real quick opener after they run that little misdirection with the man in motion, and coming up the middle, Brock Smith. They sent Bamfill in motion, and then he runs right behind where he had just run by.
Well, the right guard and the center trap on the play, and he opened up a really good hold. Linebacker came over to Shirley and got him by the side and turned him around, and then the rest of the pursuit got him. Nearly tore the ball out of there, and boy, the Bulldogs would really love a turnover here.
Second down after the 6-yard pickup, 4 yards to go. Again, the wing is set this time in motion from the left to right side, and they run that little quick opener up the middle, breaking tackles all the way out to the 41-yard line. The quick opener, good job of running the football, very hard, quick runner, Bamfill, and it is a first down outside the 40-yard line. So they have done a great job moving out of the shadows of their end zone. The other game being played left in the second quarter, 8 minutes. It's Jefferson City Hialeah 7, Jackson Indians nothing. That's 8 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Jeff City Hialeah leading the Jackson Indians 7-0. Bulldogs trailing here 14-7. The winners of those two games meet in the state championship next Friday afternoon in Columbia. Now the I formation and a man on the wing. The wingback gets the handoff, comes right up the middle, and great hit to knock him down, fumble the ball, but they say he was down. They say he was down. The Bulldogs came up with the ball, but the official said he was down at the 49-yard line in Bulldog territory, saying that the ground cannot cause the turnover.
I don't know if the ground caused the turnover or not. He may have had his shoulder on the ground because he got flipped from underneath, and he fell down to the ground. But two Bulldogs hit him at the same time, and I thought I didn't see the ball pop out of there, but all of a sudden the ball was laying on the ground, so I don't know.
Well, they got to measure for a first down, but again, they are doing an excellent job on the offensive line for the Tigers, and they have the first down. Well, they got a kink in the chain, so they got to straighten that out, but by just the length of the football, first down into Bulldog territory. Now, the Bulldog fans are not happy with the call, to say the least, as they thought the Dogs had come up with the fumble, but the Tigers have it in Bulldog territory, leading 14-7, 9:18 remaining in the second quarter. Here they come to the line of scrimmage again. Brock Nessa is the quarterback, and he puts Wes Simmons on the wing to the right side, and this time they hand it off, and coming around the corner, cutting back inside, diving forward and picking up about 5 or 6 yards is Brock Smith. And excellent yardage on first down again for the Tigers.
Well, the whole key to this is that they're turning our linebackers and defensive ends inside, whichever side that they're running. And so there's really no contained people over there initially. initially, and so they're finding some room to run once they get outside. And then finally the safeties or the cornerbacks have to come up and with the containment.
6-yard pickup, second down, 4 yards to go, just what you want out of this wing T formation. Gives you 2 downs to get 4 yards. Now they have that wing again set to the right side, run the inside trap, and the Bulldogs stayed at home that time. And they get maybe back to the line of scrimmage. And that was a good job by the defense to staying at home, doing their job, waiting for anybody coming into their territory. And they met the runner that time head on, Brock Smith, and he gets no gain on the play.
It was Myers who came up from linebacker, and then Brian Pohl as well, the defensive end, defensive tackle. He came through. The Bulldogs have done a good job on that inside trap, but the outside running is what has hurt them thus far in the first half.
Third down and 4 yards to go. Same formation. Everything is set to the right side. Quarterback wants to throw the ball. Got a man open. First down at the 31-yard line. Matt Stillman came up to make the hit, but out of the backfield, Wes Simmons has the reception for the first down.
And that was a good pass by Nessa, Tom, because he had to lay it over the top of 2 people there. Lewis and Myers both were back in coverage from their linebacker spot, and they were in the line of sight. He had to lop it over those 2 guys and then hit Simmons, who was cutting out toward the sideline.
14-7, Excelsior Springs leading. 7.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter, and the Tigers have the football marching to the Bulldog 31-yard line. They started at their 15. Quarterback Nessa, quick handoff, and the Bulldogs meet them and knock them down in the backfield. Good job for about a yard loss on the play. There was some penetration. Poe comes up off of the bottom that time, but the Bulldog defensive front did the job.
And nose tackle Terry Montgomery in there, submarining the center, got underneath and really got a hold of Banfield before he got a full head of steam, and then the rest of the Bulldog defensive line came in and brought him down.
So a loss on the play of 1, second down and 11 yards to go from the Bulldog 32-yard line. Now Wes Simmons goes out with Powles, and they also send out to that side Brock Smith. One setback, trip formation to the left. Quarterback is going to hand the ball off, and they run it to the line of scrimmage and get about 2 yards, maybe 3 on the play to the 30-yard line. So they showed the trips formation, the 3 wide receivers to the left, wide side of the field, and then tried to run the ball back to the short side of the field. Got 3 on the play. It's going to be third down and about 9 yards to go for the first down.
Evidently, they don't pass out of that very much, out of that formation, because the Bulldogs saw that, and they only sent 2 defensive backs to cover the 3 wide receivers. The other cornerback, Stillman, came over here to cover on the run.
I think that might have been a mistake on our part, though. You don't give them 3 on 2. I don't care who they are. Now a timeout is going to be called by Wes Simmons. Apparently, they didn't like something they saw, and that's their second timeout here in the quarter.
Well, that was called from the bench, Tom, because 3 players turned around and signaled timeout. So evidently, their head coach, Vic Bonucci, didn't like what he saw or didn't feel like he had the right personnel out there.
So timeout coming up, third and 9. 6:05 remaining in the second quarter. The score, Excelsior Springs 14, Rolla Bulldogs 7.
If you're looking for fast, fair, and friendly insurance service, then look to the symbol of superior service. That's where you'll find your local Farmers Insurance agent. Rolla's local Farmers Insurance agent is Loyal Steelman at 1030 Kings Highway. Boatman's Bank is keeping their promise to make homes more affordable for families of modest means, because homeowners are the brick and mortar of every strong community. Call Boatman's Bank at 364-1221 to find out more about their basic mortgage. Equal housing lender, Boatman's Bank of Rolla.
Well, it's a big third down play coming up, so no doubt that Excelsior Springs wanted to make sure they had the right personnel, the right play called, and they will use their second timeout, 1 remaining. Bulldogs trailing 14-7. They were down 14-0 before the 44-yard touchdown pass from Andy Anderson to Steve Smith cut the lead in half. Here's a big third down play. And they go with the split back. They have a wing set to the left side, and the quarterback wants to throw the football, going over the middle. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Blevins, the tight end. He got his hands on the football a little high, couldn't hang on.
He had to throw it high because Myers back there in coverage really did a nice job of staying with him, but he did pop open. Almost one of those really lucky plays, because Blevins jumps up and tips it up in the air, and here's Banfield very close to the ball. It almost came right down to him.
Well, the ball is down at the 30-yard line. and 6 minutes remaining, so they have a 4th down and 9 call coming up, and apparently will go for it from the 30-yard line as they come to the line of scrimmage. And they will show the split backs again. The wing is set to the left side. The quarterback is going to throw the ball again. Slips, throws it over the middle. It's deflected and incomplete. The Bulldogs have taken over. Went back to the same play to Blevins again. The quarterback's back foot, the foot that he plants and sets on, slipped as he threw the football, and the Bulldogs do get the ball back, even though it was an iffy situation there for a minute or two.
Well, they had the first down. He just let him a bit too much, a little high and too far in front of him. He had beaten Steve Smith as he cut toward the middle of the field. Cottrell coming off the field, and his left arm is dangling, so I don't know if he sprained it.
5:56 remaining. Cottrell injured and over on the sidelines. Bulldogs, quick opener to Turk Satterley, gets maybe a yard or two, and that's it. They ran that play earlier and got some good yardage. This time, Satterley gets a face full of mud as he comes up, picking the mud out of his face mask.
Bulldogs could really turn some tables here if they can get it down, and even if they don't score a touchdown, get a field goal on the board, show Excelsior Springs really what they're made of here.
About a 3-yard pickup on first, 2nd down and 7. Bulldogs power I formation set to the right side. Quarterback Anderson is going to hand the ball off to Singleton, and he gets another couple out to the 35-yard line. So the Bulldogs are looking now at 3rd down and 5 yards to go. Just over 5 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Tigers leading the Bulldogs 14-7. Very cloudy, gloomy, overcast day, and the run and shoot formation now coming onto the field for the Dogs. They better hurry, as they took a long time deciding whether or not to go with the spread formation. Now they come to the line of scrimmage. Quarterback Anderson ready to take the snap from Beckett center. Has the Dogs set. He drops back, little roll under some pressure, looking, and he's going to be sacked. He goes down at the 30-yard line. So a loss on the play of about 5, and the Bulldogs forced into a punting situation with 4th down coming up and 4 minutes, 28 seconds remaining. So the Dogs did not take advantage of the turnover on downs by the Tigers, and now must give the ball back up to Excelsior Springs on 4th down and 10 yards to go. And Andy Anderson, who punted the first time, will punt again for the Bulldogs. Ryan Reeves unavailable this afternoon. And there's the snap, and they send no rush, and he gets off a beautiful spiraling punt, and it is returnable from about the 34, 35 to the 40, and the Bulldogs knock them down at that point. So the Tigers have the ball back. 3 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the second quarter. The score, Excelsior Springs 14, Rolla 7.
Oliver Rescare and Rolla wishes the best to the Rolla Bulldogs today. Oliver Rescare offers the companionship of others, exceptional living conditions, and the freedom you need to feel independent. Oliver Rescare, 803 East 12th Street in Rolla.
We'll report that Chris Cottrell is back in the ball game defensively at the free safety position for the Bulldogs, so apparently is okay. They come with the wing tee. They send the wing back in motion. That's Simmons. Quarterback is going to drop back, wants to throw, fires it out for Simmons. Pass is caught. He's hit in midair, but hangs on for about a 9-yard pickup into Bulldog territory at the 49-yard line. And an injured player on the field for the Bulldogs. Getting up very slowly is Cottrell, but appears to be okay.
Again, Cottrell right there. They flooded this side of the field, the far side of the field. They had 3 different receivers in the long side, and Cottrell had that 3rd receiver and just couldn't get over there fast enough. It was a good pass by Nessa in a spot where really no Bulldogs could get to it.
We go under 3 minutes now. An official's timeout is called, and tying a shoelace is Cottrell. So they stopped the clock for, no, I take it back. It was not Cottrell, but Chris Davison, who had to tie a shoe, and now he's ready to go. Under 3 minutes, and this time they have that wing set to the right, and they run it to the short side. The pass is caught out of the backfield. 1st down. And again, Wes Simmons on the wing just goes straight downfield, and they do a great job, as Jimmy has described, flooding really the short side of the field this time with a lot of yellow jerseys or gold jerseys, and getting a 1st down on the pass completion.
Well, it's very obvious. Cottrell not 100% out there. He's walking very slow to the huddle, really not himself at all. And again, that was his man, and he was just slow getting over to it.
First down and 10 from the 37-yard line in Rolla territory. Quarterback, quick opener right up the middle, and they get it down to the 31-yard line with Daniel Bamfield. So Bamfield finally pulled down from behind by Dean DeShirley, but not until they pick up about 6 yards on, almost 7 yards on first down.
Well, those two passes really loosened up the Bulldog defense as they were looking pass again, and Bamfield had the ball going past the linebackers before anybody knew it.
2:20, clock moving, and now they have two wide receivers to the left, and the split backs. They're going to run the ball to the right side to Brock Smith, cuts inside. He's all the way down to the 20-yard line. Just a good job of blocking and also running the football. Big block thrown that time by Sean Conyers, the 5'10", 177-pound offensive guard. Not a big guard, but boy, he got out and threw a huge block.
I may be wrong, I don't know, but I don't think that they have ever run the sweep to the long side of the field. They like to run it to the short side because the Bulldogs flood the long side whenever they're in a running situation. So more Bulldogs are on that side, so they run a quick pitch out this way, and there are very few Bulldogs out there.
Wing to the right side, which is the short side. They run it to the right side again. Cut it upfield, 5, 6 yards on the play, inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. And Excelsior Springs trying to use the clock. They got one timeout remaining. Minute 36 to go before halftime. You know they want to put another score on the boards. Up 14-7. At this point, would love to be up by 2 if possible.
Well, we knew Smith was a good runner, 1,400 yards plus this year, over 100 yards now with 105 unofficially.
And again, they will come with the wing, this time to the left side. The quarterback is going to throw the football over the middle, wide open, the tight end for the touchdown, Blevins. Boy, nobody picked him up that time, and he has been open 2 or 3 times. This time they found Blevins for the score.
They circled him around from the far side. He lined up on the far side, and then he just really a play that the Bulldogs run all the time. He goes about 5 yards downfield and then just casually jaunts across the middle of the field and then comes open. And if nobody goes with him, he's going to be there all day long.
So the extra point kick is coming up. There's the snap, the hold, the kick, and it is no good. It's off to the right, no good. So the Bulldogs, with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining here in the first half, trail Excelsior Springs 20-7.
You can see J.D. Roach, your local shelter insurance agent, if you're in the market for life, health, home, or auto insurance. Call 364-5891 for a quote on any insurance, or see J.D. Roach at 618 Pine Street, downtown Rolla. You can try Pizza Inn's new sourdough pizza. This unique 12 by 18-inch oval pizza has a delicious garlic butter flavor, and you can choose up to 3 toppings for just $10.99. Pizza Inn appreciates the community support in voting them the area's favorite pizza place. Pizza Inn, where you'll find the largest variety of pizza and crust styles around Highway 63 in Pine and Rolla.
Rolla Bulldogs to receive the kick. Trailing now 20-7 here with a minute 10 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So we wait for the kickoff by Chad Bishop. Ball hash marked to the right side at the 40-yard line. Cottrell this time has moved over to the near the sidelines where they've been kicking the ball. And this time they go with the onside kick, and it's going to go out of bounds. And the Bulldogs should get the ball about the 43-yard line. So that's great field position with a minute 10 seconds to go if the Bulldogs try to open it up and get back on the scoreboard.
Yes, it is. That's excellent field position for the Bulldogs because you figure with Travis Miles, if we can get down to about the 20-yard line, we're within field goal range. And if we can get another score on the board, that's got to help a lot of that morale on the Bulldog side of the field.
Well, timeout has been called, the third and final timeout by Excelsior Springs. So timeout on the field with a minute 10 still remaining on the clock, and the score, the Tigers 20, Rolla Bulldogs 7.
Sinks Pharmacy is at 1113 Houck Drive in Rolla. Be sure to see Jim Sinks for all of your prescriptions. Easy access and great service are yours with Sinks Pharmacy, 1113 Houck Drive, Rolla. Lynch Brothers sells furniture and appliances for every budget. Name brands including appliances by Magic Chef, Frigidaire, White Westinghouse, Tabin Laundry, Maytag Laundry, and of course Curtis Mathis TVs and VCRs. The Curtis Mathis models have a factory 4-year warranty. Lynch Brothers Furniture and Appliance Store, 1051 Kings Highway, Rolla.
Well, the Rolla Bulldogs at this point last game Monday night in the O show had the ball at the 46-yard line and ran the ball for 10 minutes and 10 seconds before scoring. Well, they only got a minute and 10 seconds to try to score this time from the 47-yard line. And Coach Gary Miles out on the field talking with his offensive unit. And they come to the line of scrimmage ready to go with the run and shoot formation. Barr is the wide receiver to the left side. To the right side, Steve Smith. Quarterback drops back. The rush is on. He throws it out in the flat. The pass is caught. And they get about 5-6 yards on the play. And boy, they are jumping and really running to the ball. And Cottrell gets up after making the catch and had no chance to really go anywhere after he made the catch.
I think he felt like he had a chance, but then the guy got blocked right into him and made the tackle.
45 seconds and the clock moving, and now there's a flag on the play.
And I think they're going to get Charlie Barr on this side for lining up in the neutral zone.
So a 5-yard penalty will stop the clock with 45 seconds to go. Offside call against, no, neutral zone, a violation call against Excelsior Springs.
Well, he was standing right in front of the referee, and the referee was looking right at him, went through the flag, but evidently it was one of the interior linemen for Excelsior Springs.
So the Bulldogs get a break, and is it close enough for a first down? Yes, it is. They're going to measure. With 45 seconds to go, it would be second down and inches, or first down and goal, so the referee wants to bring in the flags for the measurement. Great crowd here this afternoon, even though the weather conditions are not the best. It is first down for the Bulldogs. But the Rolla Bulldogs find themselves on the short end of a 20-7 score, and boy, wouldn't a score right now look great.
Yes, it would.
Bulldogs again, Barr out wide, this time to the left side. Smith is in the slot to the left side. Quarterback is going to roll to the left side, looking, hit, and he breaks away, and now fumbled the ball, but fell on the ball at the 49-yard line. I tell you what, with the 5 defensive linemen that they were sending, they got great penetration against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, they sure did. And then Bulldogs some hesitancy as far as calling a timeout. Coach Miles over there yelling for it, and nobody saw it. Finally, after about 3 or 4 seconds ran off, then they finally got their timeout. 30 seconds to go. Bulldogs still have good field position. They're inside of Excelsior Springs territory at about the 49, but they need to get about another 30 yards if they want to get into any type of scoring range.
Well, the Bulldogs still have some time, 30 seconds remaining, but now they're back at their 49-yard line. And the blocking just kind of collapsed that time around Andy Anderson, who didn't have enough time to throw the football.
With the one exception of the long pass to Smith, really the long passes have not been able to open up today, mainly because their defensive line push has been so good. So the short routes are there, but with only 30 seconds, you really don't have much time to methodically go down the field. You're going to have to get a big play somewhere.
One change they made this time, they brought in Jeff Cottrell as the running back for blocking purposes. And the quarterback, Anderson, drops back, and he's got a little time now. He's going to run the football. He's at the 40. He's down to the 35 and hit and knocked out of bounds at about the 32, 33-yard line with 21 seconds remaining. So the Bulldogs have some extra life as they will mark it at the 33-yard line, it looks like.
You can see why they brought Cottrell in, because he laid a really good lick on Blevins over there, who came around from his defensive end spot.
Now the clock at 21 seconds. Bulldogs huddling up this time instead of going with that 2-minute drill, as they have some time to do that. Now they come with Arthur going out wide to the right, Cottrell in one of the slots, Smith in the other slot, and to the left it's Charlie Barr. Andy Anderson has Cottrell to block behind him. He drops back, looking short, now looking, the rush is on, and down he goes. And another late hit, but there is no flag on the play. He was down on the ground when all of a sudden falling on top of him was their big lineman, Andy Snyder. But the Bulldogs use a timeout with 13 seconds to go. So, again, they just did a great job covering the receivers downfield for the Tigers.
Because really Anderson had some time that on this play to look downfield, but then it just all collapsed. And finally, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Simmons who finally came in and got a hold of him first. And then, like you said, I think Schneider came down and plopped down on top of him. But he may have been pushed into him. No flag was thrown, so evidently it was a clean play. But the Bulldogs are going to have to come up with a big play here. They're going to have to chuck it downfield now if they're going to get into any type of field goal range.
13 seconds. Bulldogs using their second timeout. So they have one remaining. Trailing 20-7. The ball is at the 38-yard line. They were down at the 33-yard line, so they lost about 5 on that play. And now they're ready to put the ball in play. Referee gives the signal, and here come the Dogs to the line of scrimmage. The run and shoot formation. Andy Anderson is going to drop back, and here they come up the middle. He's under pressure, and he's sacked again, all the way back to the 44-yard line. Bulldogs will call one last timeout with 4 seconds remaining. But boy, I tell you what, they are doing a tremendous job getting through the Rolla offensive line on this series.
Well, it's so much easier when you're a defensive lineman, when you know what they're going to be doing, what you have to do, because if you know they're going to pass, all you have to do is just put your burners on and then head upfield as hard as you can and go for the quarterback. And right now there are 4 guys in yellow jerseys over there. They know exactly what their job is to do. Bulldog offensive line trying their best to stave them off, but right now they're just getting pushed back on their heels and getting beat.
Well, the Bulldogs really would have loved to score here because they will get the football to start the second half following halftime. And with 4 seconds remaining, it's going to take one of those Hail Mary passes down around the end zone now, because there's no way they're going to get the ball that far downfield for any type of field goal situation. So it's the end zone or nothing here on this play for the Rolla Bulldogs.
Well, look for Anderson. He's got a good, strong arm. He might take a couple extra steps back this time instead of setting short in the pocket, just to buy himself a couple extra seconds to get it downfield.
Or maybe at least try to roll out to one side, and this time he stands in the pocket and throws it downfield. Got a man open, and it's going to be almost intercepted. Smith was behind Daniel Bamfield, but the ball was thrown short. Bamfield should have picked it off, but it bounced off his shoulder pads, incomplete. And we completed one half of football, and the Excelsior Spring Tiger fans are elated, to say the least, as they see their Tigers on top of the Rolla Bulldogs at halftime by the score of 20-7.
You know, you'd look great in a sporty new Pro from Denny Ford Lincoln Mercury in Rolla. They're loaded and priced from just $12,299. Hurry in while selection is good. At that price, they won't last long. New probes at Denny Ford Lincoln Mercury, Highway 63 in Rolla, where they refuse to be undersold or outserviced. Universal Life Insurance can meet your changing needs. See State Farm agent Jack 4 at Jack 4 State Farm Insurance, 1016 Kings Highway in Rolla, for details on coverage, cost, restrictions, and renewability. Jack 4, your good neighbor agent since 1975.
It's halftime. Seconds remaining in the first quarter. The extra point kick was good by Chris Markham to make it 7-0. Then with 6 minutes and 50 seconds remaining, a 7-yard touchdown run by Daniel Bamfield made it 13-0. The extra point kick by Markham made it 14-0. Then the Bulldogs cut into that 14-0 lead with 4 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in the first quarter when Andy Anderson hit Steve Smith on a 44-yard touchdown pass to make it 7-6.
done before. Inside the Space Shuttle. Strap yourself in for a wild ride atop 11 million pounds of danger. The Space Shuttle, an original 2-hour world premiere. Tonight at 7.
Columbia 24, Brown 3. At halftime, it's Cornell 14, Pennsylvania 3. Third quarter, Yale leads Harvard 19-6. For Don Gould and the ABC Information Network, I'm Brian Madden.
Especially on the last couple of two of the last three plays where he was sacked as the Bulldogs got inside of the 35-yard line going toward a score at the end of the half. But the one thing the Bulldogs have to keep in mind, yeah, it's 20-7, but by no means are you out of this ball game. They can't come out thinking that this game is already over and let's just play out this last 24 minutes. You've got to go out there with some sort of adjustments in your game plan and then go out there and put it to work. And I think the Bulldogs have a team that has done that this year. They've been able to make those adjustments when they need to, and they're going to have to do it one more time.
Well, the Bulldogs should be receiving the opening kickoff, and when they go on offense, I think will be a telltale drive. Remember what we did Monday night to put a game away? Well, we're going to have to do, I think, maybe a similar type of thing to get right back into this ball game. Maybe not a 10-minute drive, but we need to score on the opening possession, or at least move the football and let the Tigers know from Excelsior Springs that the Bulldogs are not going to roll over and play dead here in the second half. I don't think that's in this team in the first place to do that. They're going to scrap right down to the very end, and I sure don't think they're out of this game by any stretch of the imagination.
No, they just have to go out there and do the things, change the things that have really gotten them in the predicament that they are in, get those changed, make those adjustments, and then go out there and do it. And I think this is a ball club that can do it. We have seen them time and time again this year. Very few times have they been behind at halftime, but they were behind when they played when they were playing Salem at half, and also when we were playing West Plains, we were leading at half, but you could feel the momentum really swinging when they went into the locker room. West Plains came out, of course, tied it right off the bat, but then the Bulldogs, that's where their character came through, and that's when they opened up the big lead, went down and scored a couple touchdowns real quick, and the Bulldogs are going to have to do it.
Well, the captains again meet at the center of the field. Want to take this opportunity to thank Bob and the crew over at the Pizza Inn for the pizza, guys. Thank you very much. It came in very handy here at halftime in the press box. And then again to Roger Burke-Bigler, the principal here at Rolla High School, and to all of the crew, athletic director John Edgar Carroll and his office, and everybody connected with the athletic program of the high school. Thanks for your support and for your assistance in our broadcast throughout the year, not only this afternoon, but through every ball game. You do a super job for us and for the community. And Roger, thanks for the pie. And thanks to Dave for delivering the pie. If he hadn't got the phone call to Dave on his way over here, we would not have had our slice of pie treat here at halftime.
Did you tip him?
Who, Roger? No, you. Tip Dave. No way. I mean, you know, I'll tip Dave by giving him some extra hours this week. How about that? Isn't that? He hasn't put in a full day in a couple of weeks, so I, try to give you some extra work.
Tom, he's on salary. It doesn't make any difference.
It makes no difference, absolutely. I know how well we know. Well, the Bulldogs offense comes onto the field to receive this opening kickoff. And it's going to be Steve Smith back deep to receive. So Chris Cottrell apparently suffering some type of injury. So Smith will be the deep receiver for the Bulldogs. He will be flanked by Michael Weinkoff and by Kevin Barr. And we're ready for this kickoff. Approaching the ball is Chad Bishop. He kicks it short. It's coming down towards Barr. He feels it at the 20, 25, out to the 30, out to the 33-yard line. Good return by the Rolla Bulldogs, Kevin Barr, and they have good field position now to start the second half of this ball game.
And as the play was ending, then I saw Chris Cottrell running across the field, and I thought, well, what? He wasn't on the field. Evidently, he had come out of the locker room late, and he was standing in the crowd waiting for the play to be over with so that he could get over there. You see his wrist or his arm is bandaged. He has a
on
cast
the left
on it.
hand.
So evidently, he has done something to his left arm.
Bulldogs will line up in the power I to the right side from their 32-yard line, they mark it. Run the ball, first down, Andy Singleton tripped up, just dives forward for a couple of yards to about the 35-yard line, got almost 3 yards on first down. So the Rolla Bulldogs not in any condition to panic at this moment. They still have all the second half to move the football, to drive it downfield with their running game. 20-7 our score as we start the third quarter. Bulldogs looking at second down, 7 yards to go. Power I, right side. Quarterback is going to throw the ball on second down. Throws it to Arthur. He's got a first down and out of bounds for the Bulldogs. And it's going to be up around the 46-yard line. Tony Arthur just cut it down field and then out to the sidelines. The ball was on the money and a first down for Rolla.
Really, Tony hasn't had much of a chance to catch and run with the ball here lately. Seems like they've run him in the patterns, but the pass always seems to be batted away as it's going to him or just gets overthrown. That time a nice catch by him on the run, and he goes out of bounds with the first.
Power I set to the left. They run it right side to Singleton. He's got a good hole. He's into Tiger territory across the 50-yard line. Pickup of about 4 yards, almost 5 yards on first down. The Bulldogs trailing 20-7, coming out and moving the football on this opening possession.
That's the type of offensive line surge that we really didn't see much of in the first half, but that time really blowing Excelsior Springs off the ball, giving Singleton some room to run, and he gets close to 5 yards.
Second down, Rolla Bulldogs, power to the right side. Quarterback Andy Anderson to take the snap, and they come this time to the left side, but nothing there. They got about a yard and fumble the ball. And the referee says Excelsior Springs has the football. So the Tigers take over. Matt Cowan was the ball carrier. The ball popped out. And coming up with the football, the Tigers from Excelsior Springs. And it was Andy Snyder who was on the bottom with the football for the Tigers.
Well, it was Singleton who was carrying it, Tom. They had both of them right there, and Singleton got stripped of it when he hit the pack. I never saw it come out, but it popped out of there somehow, and a lot of yellow jerseys pointing the other way immediately.
48-yard line in Tiger territory. 10 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Handoff to Smith, and he loses his footing as he tried to make the cut back from the left to the right side and falls down after about a 2-yard pickup. They put him down at midfield. Brock Smith, the ball carrier.
Be interesting to know exactly how the field conditions rate right now. Rain most of the half, rain still coming down slightly, not near as heavy as it was at the half. And at that time, as Smith tried to cut back, slipped and fell down and only got a couple of yards.
Going to be second down, 8 yards to go. Powell will come out. Simmons will come out as wide receivers to the right side, wide side of the field. They're going to run the ball to the left side. Big hole into the secondary and a first down for Brock Smith. All the way down to the 40-yard line. So they ran that little quick opener and over the left side between the guard and the tackle, and big hole and a big back to hit the hole in a hurry.
Cottrell in the backfield, and with the 3 receivers in there and 2 on this side, he has to come up and be the cover man on the 3rd receiver. So they run a quick trap up the middle, and if the runner gets through there like he did that time, really there's only one man back there, and it's Davison. Davison makes the tackle, but if he gets by him, it's a touchdown.
20-7, Tigers are leading, and they have the football. This time they give it to the wing back straight ahead, 5 yards on first down. Wes Simmons, the ball carrier, to the 35-yard line. That little fake handoff to the fullback, give it to the wing back, and they move the ball to the 35-yard line. Second down, 5 yards to go for the Tigers.
Well, when you run the quick handoff up the middle to the fullback or fake it, then automatically you've got your lead blocker when you run the trap play, and that's exactly what happens. It's Smith going through there, and then they give it to Bamfield or vice versa, and they've always got a lead blocker going through to pick up the linebacker.
This time the wing is Simmons, and they move to the left side, Smith. They throw the ball down first, and it's a first down to about the 26-yard line. And again, it's Wes Simmons this time, the receiver. as they just kind of flood to the short side of the field, this time to the left.
Almost that backfired on them because they had Smith going over there in a flare route going toward the sideline. He thought the pass was actually for him, and he reached back and nearly got his hand on it. Luckily for Excelsior Springs, he didn't, and it went into Simmons' hands.
First down and 10. Bulldogs have got to come up big defensively. They trail 20-7. 7:45 remaining. We're in the third quarter. Ball is at the 26-yard line. In motion comes Wes Simmons. And the quarterback is going to hand it to the fullback straight ahead, and this time they stack him up after about a 2-yard pickup inside the 25 to about the 24-yard line, and now they put him all the way down to the 22-yard line, so he had a little burst at the end before he went to the knee and picked up another 2 yards on the play.
Well, evidently I saw the wrong ball carrier because I thought they brought him down about the 24, but he must have fell forward for a couple extra yards there somehow. It looked like the Bulldogs read that very well, but here they look at the scoreboard, and it's second and
about 5 yards to go.
5 or 6 yards.
So to the line of scrimmage again, that wing tee. In motion goes the wingback Simmons. Quarterback Nessa this time hands off to the back, hit of the backfield, and they'll get maybe to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half yard on the play, but that was just good defense by DeShirley at that time. And he was able to meet the running back Smith head on and knock him down for no gain on the play.
And really not in on the tackle, but Brian Lewis over there forces the play inside from his defensive end or linebacker spot. He took the cover man or the lead blocker, and he made Smith cut up field. And so when he cut up, there was the pursuit right there. Bulldog pursuit excellent on the play. DeShirley brings him down for less than a yard gain.
Third down and 6 yards to go for the Tigers. 2 wideouts to the right. Simmons comes in motion to the left. Now they try to run the ball with Smith out in the corner, and he's hit and knocked down around the 18, 17-yard line. Going to be maybe a yard and a half short of a first down. So a good open field tackle that time by the Bulldogs on Smith, and they do come up short, but it's going to be 4th and about a yard to go for the first down.
Simmons on the wide side here was a wide receiver, and he came back, and I thought they might get him for an illegal crackback block. He must have got it just high enough on Lewis. As he was in motion, he came over and blocked Lewis, but no penalty was called.
Nessa does call a timeout, however, for Excelsior Springs. You can tell the importance they place on getting this first down. They need a little over a yard, about 1.5 yards for the first down, so they call a timeout and have 2 remaining for the rest of this ball game. 5 minutes, 43 seconds remain in the third quarter. Excelsior Springs 20, Rolla Bulldogs 7.
The staff at Zeno's invites you to make reservations now for their Thanksgiving Day buffet dinner. It starts at 11 a.m. Thanksgiving Day, and it will feature all of the traditional Thanksgiving favorites. Call Zeno's today to make reservations at 364-1301, 364-1301. Miller Glass Company in Rolla will fix it fast. Let Miller Glass be your expert for home, auto, or decorative glass needs. Miller Glass in Rolla says, go Bulldogs.
2 minutes and make the 2 hours and 45 minutes before the Lady Miners tip it off tonight over at the Gail Bowman Multipurpose Building as they open the collegiate basketball season here in Rolla. Playing host to Central Methodist will be on the air at 5:30 this afternoon. And then, of course, the Miners will follow against Lyon College at 7:45 tonight. Big 4th down call. They're going to pitch it wide again, trying to get around the corner of Smith. Cuts upfield, and he's got the first down as he is inside the 13-yard line, close to maybe the knee at the 13, but they did this when they had short yardage early in the ball game. They pitched the ball to Smith and let him go around the corner, and student body left got it for him this time.
And nearly what turned into a great play for the Bulldog defense. Brian Lewis just a half step short of making the play in the backfield, just missed Smith, and then Smith had open field on the far side.
1st and 10 at the Bulldog 13-yard line, and the handoff, and they trying to find a little hole. The Bulldogs pull them down from behind at the 10-yard line, but about a 3-yard pickup on the play. The play was slow developing that time, and when the running back got the handoff, he's going to come out of the ball game, by the way, and that is Brock Smith. He apparently has some blood somewhere on his hand, and they're making him come out of the ball game. So he will have to be replaced, and into the ball game will come, I'm not real sure who they're going to decide to bring in.
I think that's Herman Lyons.
Herman Lyons will come in.
One of the starting linebackers and also a backup running back.
So Nessa gets the play on the sidelines. Second down, and they need about 7 for the first down.
Bulldogs need a big defensive play here. They really can ill afford to give up a big touchdown to Excelsior Springs here.
And here come the Tigers to the line of scrimmage. Up over the ball, Morton, center all the way this afternoon. Nessa now splits the back. They send the wing man in motion, Simmons, to the right side, and they are going to throw the football. Looking over the middle, the pass is in the end zone, incomplete. They went back to the tight end that time, and he got his hands again on the football, and he was running into some defensive coverage, but couldn't hang on to the ball.
And they really had a lot of receivers out on this short side of the field, or on the long side actually, but in the near side. He had a running back coming out of the backfield. I believe it was Banfield who was open, but he was going to the tight end all the way, and when he threw it, there was triple coverage there. But then all of a sudden, the tight end, Blevins, just opens up, and he just overthrew him just a hair, went off of his fingertips and out of bounds.
Smith is back in, and Lyons comes out. It's going to be third down, about 7 yards for the first down. They can get a first down around the 3-yard line. Quarterback is going to run that inside trap. The Bulldogs stop him at the line of scrimmage, fall forward for about 2 to about the 8-yard line. So again, they run the trap, and inside the Bulldogs have been very successful stopping the trap for most of this afternoon, especially when they have that little cross action. And here comes the field goal unit on, as they will try to tack on 3, leading 20-17. Very important field goal opportunity that is coming up here for Matt Sullivan. So Sullivan will kick. The holder is Matt Abel. And this could make it more than a 2-score for the Bulldogs. Here's the hold. The kick is up, and it is good. So the field goal, which was from the 17, I guess a 27-yard field goal attempt. And the Rolla Bulldogs now find themselves trailing 23-7 with 3:50 remaining in the third quarter.
It has become a tradition for many people to make a trip to Maid-Rite after each Bulldog game. People just love getting a Maid-Rite or a cheese ride, along with a great side order, and then you top it all off with one of their tasty desserts. Start your own tradition tonight at Maid-Rite, 1028 Kings Highway in Rolla. Rolla Technical Institute is the center for returning learners. They have full-time classes, short-term courses, skill training, career testing, and customized programs. It's all at the Rolla Technical Institute, 1304 East 10th Street in Rolla.
Bulldogs trail 23-7. Field goal came with 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. And Rolla will be receiving the kickoff. Rolla High Bulldogs 12-0 on the season. Excelsior Springs 11-1. The winner advances to the state 4A football championship next Friday afternoon at Faroe Field in Columbia. Right now, the Tigers have the upper hand, 23-7. Kickoff is a line drive, going to hit, and Steve Smith lets it get by. He picks it up at the 4 to the 3, now returns back to the 5, 10, trying to find some running room, 15, out to about the 20, 25, still on his feet to the 30, all the way out to the 35-yard line. Outstanding return with no flags on the play. After the ball rolled by, it looked like for a minute it would be deep trouble for the Bulldogs, but Steve Smith did a great job getting it out to just across the 35-yard line.
Well, the strategy there for Excelsior Springs, they're going to try to skip it down there because they don't want to, they want to try to give it the Rolla returners as hard a time as possible in trying to bring the ball upfield. And Rolla did have some trouble getting the handle on it, but then Smith made amends.
First down and 10. Bulldogs on first down, going to throw the ball. Anderson, lots of time, goes deep downfield for Smith, and the pass is just overthrown. There was coverage back on both Smith and Arthur, but it was single coverage on each player, and that time the ball was laid out just about 2 yards too long for Steve Smith, who had to look back over his shoulder for the ball.
But the one bright point there, Anderson did have some time, and hopefully that's going to carry on throughout the rest of this game because Anderson is going to need time to get that ball downfield.
The incompletion stops the clock. 3 minutes, 19 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And here come the Bulldogs to the line. Second down, 10 yards to go, officially from their 36-yard line. And the run and shoot formation. Now he rolls out, wants to throw, find some time. Now he's under some pressure, breaks another tackle, throws it short to Smith, and he's hammered. Fumble the ball, but the Bulldogs fall on it. Smith fumbled the ball after catching it at the 40-yard line, and the ball was loose on the ground and had to be picked up by one of the linemen. And Brian Minch fell on the ball.
Minch right there, Johnny on the spot to land on top of it. But Anderson doing everything he could to buy some time there, eluded a couple or three defenders for Excelsior Springs. Finally found Smith at about the 40. Smith made the catch, but then got popped really, really well by Bamfield, I believe it was, coming up and laid a lick on him. And thankfully, Minch was there.
Third down, 7 yards needed for the Bulldogs. Trips formation to the right side, wide side. Now the quarterback is going to be sacked. What a great defensive move that time put on by the player Brian Blevins, offensive end. That time he came through. He just knocked down the blocker, Matt Cowan, and then made the shoestring tackle on Andy Anderson.
That's exactly what happened. Blevins, a linebacker, defensive end, really kind of an odd position there, but he comes on the blitz every time whenever the Bulldogs pass, and he just shoved Cowan out of the way and made the tackle all by himself.
Brock Smith drops back to his 29-yard line to receive an Andy Anderson punt. He stands at the 20. Anderson's punted twice, and an excellent job. High snap, it's over his head. He got back, fell down, and he's down at that point. The knee went down. The snap was high. He had to go up for it, and when he went up for it, he came down. His feet slipped out from under him. The knee hit the ground, and at the 17-yard line, the Tigers have the football, 1st and 10.
The slippery field came into play there, Tom, as Anderson really never could get his footing. He had to jump for it, and then when he came down, his feet went right out from under him, and he landed on the ground. And, of course, in high school football, once your knee touches, that's where you're at.
Well, I think wet field and wet ball conditions combined that time. The snap was high, and Andy did everything he could just to get up to get the ball, and now here they come. Big opener in the middle of the line, but the Dogs closed it down in a hurry. I think the ball carrier, if he'd gone to the left, would have had a huge running area, but he just kept it right up the middle and kind of veered to the right that time, Bamfield, and the Dogs closed him down after about maybe 4 yards, almost 5 on the play.
Again, it looks like the Bulldogs play the play just right, but Bamfield keeps going and squirts away and finally ends up with about a 4 or 5 yard gain.
So it is going to be 2nd down and about 5 yards to go. The ball is at the 13-yard line in Bulldog territory. Quarterback quick pitch to Smith, and backfield he was able to evade the tackler, Davison, that time, but when he did so, he left his feet and was flying through the air, fell to about the 12-yard line. So a pickup of about another 2 on the play. They're looking at 3rd down now and still need about 4 yards, almost 5 for the 1st down.
Yeah, he did really a great job in avoiding the tackle by Davison, who read the play perfect and went right for his ankles, and he skipped over the top of him, but then really had nowhere to go once he landed.
3rd down and 4, wing to the right, and the quarterback's going to throw the ball to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Well, there was 3 defenders around the intended receiver, Powles, that time, and nobody could get a hand on the ball, it looked like.
Well, I don't know if DeShirley got a hand on it or not. He was back there, Cottrell as well, and I think Davison too. All 3 of the defenders there, for some odd reason, Nessa likes to throw it in triple coverage. I don't know exactly why. There really was not a lot of space there for him to get the pass completed, but he forced it in, and the Bulldogs to knock it down.
So it's going to bring up 4th down at a big play, 4th and 4, with the Tigers leading 23-7, and the wing is set to the left. The quarterback wants to throw the ball over the middle. Pass is caught at the 5-4, and now a flag on the play. And he got out of bounds at the 1-yard line. The flag was thrown where the pass was caught by Blevins. And let's see if we got a pass interference call downfield. Blevins caught the ball after he bounced off one of the defenders, and it is pass interference against the Bulldogs. So I think they will take the play and have it 1st and goal, just inches away from the goal line.
Again, excellent offensive line play for Excelsior Springs, giving the quarterback, Nessa, a lot of time back there to find a receiver, letting those receivers open up. He finally found the tight end crossing, Blevins, and hit him. And Steelman, it looked like, I thought he hit him just as the play got there, but evidently he got him just a hair too soon. Blevins bounced off of it anyway and nearly got in for the touch.
So it's first and goal for the Tigers. Nessa to take the snap with the I formation. Quarterback sneak, and he scores. So it didn't take long as the quarter comes to an end. And also, they're in the fourth quarter, just beginning the fourth quarter in Jackson, and it's 14-7. Jackson Indians now leading over the Jefferson City Helias Crusaders. But more importantly, here at the end of three quarters, the score could be 30-7 in favor of Excelsior Springs. The extra point kick is coming up. Nessa just took the ball on a 1-yard run for the touchdown, and here comes the kick, and it is going to be good. So we completed 3 quarters of play, and the score, Excelsior Springs Tigers 30, Rolla Bulldogs 7.
Well, surprisingly here, Tom, when Excelsior Springs came in, they start 8 people both ways, but they do rotate a lot of people in, it seems. And I think the Bulldogs thought that would play in their favor, but these Excelsior Spring kids, very well conditioned and very strong, and they're still blowing off the ball very well, knocking the Rolla kids back, especially on defense, and on their defensive line, they're still very strong yet. So evidently, this has really not played in Rolla's favor like it has in the previous 12 games this year.
Well, needless to say, the Bulldogs are trailing big, 30-7. It is the most points that the Bulldogs have given up this season, and they have run into a buzzsaw from Excelsior Springs. Rolla previous have given up only 20 points in their 41-20 victory over West Plains. Gave up 19 points in their 28-19 win over Lebanon. And for Excelsior Springs, this is a high-scoring unit. They scored 44, 47, 34, 35, 43. So they can put points on the board also, and they approved it this afternoon, now leading the Bulldogs by 23, 30-7.
Well, as always, when you have a good offense and a good defense, something has got to give. And today it's been the Rolla defense.
And this time the line drive kick downfield, going to be fielded at the 13, return out to the 20, to the 29-yard line, and then almost a kind of a clothesline tackle, it looked like that time, even though the runner was going down at the time the hit was made. But Bulldogs, now they're going to put it up at the 30-yard line, put the nose of the ball right at the 30, and that's where Rolla will take over. But Bulldogs have very little time now, 11:55 to make up 23 points. It can be done. 30-7 the score, and I'm sure that we'll have to see the Bulldogs go to the air more often than they would like to, but they will line up in the I formation with 2 wide receivers. A different look now for the Dogs. From their 30-yard line, Anderson, the quarterback, he takes the 2-step drop, fires it out in the flat. The pass incomplete, intended for Tony Arthur.
A good coverage back there by Bamfield, who at his cornerback spot was over there, as well as Travis Miles, who is a defensive back, just double covering on Arthur. And there's a very small window there for that pass to be completed. And Anderson, knowing that, didn't try to force it in there. He just threw it away, I believe.
So they will bring on the run and shoot formation. Second down, 10 yards to go, and we have another problem here. Is a timeout called by Excelsior Springs, their second timeout. So another timeout is called. They have 1 remaining, but that doesn't seem to be a critical point at this juncture, as with 11:27 remaining in this ball game, Jimmy, it is all Tigers, 30-7 over the Bulldogs.
Very surprising score here, Tom, at 30-7. You knew Excelsior Springs was going to be a good ball team, but Rolla really has never gotten in sync today. This is really first time all year that we've seen them out of sync for this long of a period of time.
Well, as you take a look at the third quarter stats, Excelsior Springs now through 3 quarters has rushed the ball 33 times for 195 or 98 yards. 198 yards. And passing, Nessa is 9 of 15, 100 yards. Has the 1 touchdown, the 1 interception. He has led the total to 298 yards total offense. Bulldogs have 78 yards total offense coming into this fourth quarter. And that is not enough. On second and 10, Anderson rolls out, wants to throw, looks, fires downfield. The pass is going to be caught, but for only about a 3-yard pickup, maybe 4 on the play.
Scott Gauthier went upfield, broke off his route when he saw Anderson flushed out of the pocket and came back for it. Bulldogs do get a gain out of it, about 3 or 4 on there, but really they're going to need bigger plays than that if they're going to get back in this ball game quickly.
3rd down and 7. Under 11 minutes now remaining, and the Dogs come to the line of scrimmage, this time with the run and shoot formation. Andy Anderson, the quarterback for the Bulldogs, and he will drop back, looks, got some time, throws, passes. Incomplete at the 40-yard line. Steve Smith, the intended receiver, very close to the first down area, but the ball thrown a little low. He had to reach down for it, and he just could not hang on.
Yeah, they had the right play called for that coverage, too, because Smith came out from his slot position, and Arthur was on the far side. Arthur just heads downfield, and the cornerback and the safety went with him, and Smith was open there. The old linebacker came over to cover the short patterns, so they would have had the first down.
Smith drops back, and the Bulldogs short one player, and they're trying to get that player onto the field. Now they do. It is a punting situation for Anderson. This time the snap is good. The kick is an excellent kick, high kick. Going to hit and takes a sideways bounce and will roll dead just shy of the 30-yard line in Tiger territory. A reminder that that week of high school football games all lead to one place week after week, and that is to Faroe Field and Show Me Bowl 94. Now, the state football championships will be played at Faroe Field November 25th and 26th. It will be the final 2 teams in 3A, 4A, and 5A meeting for the championship. Make plans to attend. See local high school football action at its best. Show Me Bowl 94. For ticket information, contact your local high school, the Missouri State High School Activities Association, or your local State Farm agent. 1st and 10 for the Tigers, and they run the ball with Smith. Hurdles a man down the sidelines, and he's going to be pulled down from behind by Cottrell. He had to make a one-hand tackle with the only good arm that he has. And you can tell he's in a lot of pain after he even made that play. They say he stepped out of bounds, however, back around the 47-yard line in Tiger territory, so they'll lose about 10 yards on the end of that run because of stepping out of bounds.
Yeah, Cottrell really playing with only one arm. He came up and he grabbed Smith by the jersey and just corralled him, pulled him back. But there comes a time sometimes when you have to just figure you're more of a detriment when you're only out there playing 50%. And Cottrell may be better being on the sideline.
And they go with the quick opener, and they break a tackle into Bulldog territory just across the 50-yard line. And you can tell right now that Excelsior Springs is the team that is fired up, leading 30-7 on the scoreboard. You would expect so, and they're firing off the line of scrimmage now.
They really are, Tom. And the Bulldogs, unfortunately, they feel like this ball game is just slipping away so quickly, and there's nothing they can do about it. And the truth of the matter is there really isn't. And all they can do is just keep their heads up and play hard their final 10 minutes.
On 2nd down, hit of the backfield, and that's a big defensive hit by the Bulldogs. Boy, got great penetration that time. As soon as Nessa handed the ball off to Smith, he was sandwiched by the Dogs.
Well, it was Poe and Lewis. Lewis coming around from linebacker. He's so quick on that play. Came around and hit him hard before he ever got to the line, and he ends up losing a couple on it.
Well, I hate to see some of these fans walking away here with 9 minutes to go in the ball game. What a season the Bulldogs have given us. 12 wins, folks. 2nd ranked in the state. It's no fluke when you get to this level of football here in the state of Missouri. And even though it looks like the Tigers are going to advance, these are 2 excellent football teams. They pitch it to Smith, trying to go wide. The Bulldogs have him hemmed in on the sidelines. He will get into Bulldog territory at about the 47-yard line. So the pickup on the play is going to bring up 4th down and what could be a punting situation. And the punter has checked in, Matt Sullivan. So Matt Sullivan checks in for the punt. And he stands back at the 36-yard line. Cottrell will stay in the ball game and drop back for Rolla. The ball is low. It's on the ground, and he's going to have to run the ball. He breaks a tackle. Now he's into open field, still running for some territory. He's got the sideline and a 1st down. Can you believe it? They come up with a big 1st down run. The Bulldogs could not stop him after he ran to the wide side of the field, and Matt Sullivan keeps the drive alive with a huge run down to the 35-yard line and 1st down After the snap was low, he bobbled the ball and picked it up. We had a chance around the 35-yard line, but then he got outside and got a great block on the sideline to get the first down.
Probably what helped him the most that time was that as soon as the ball skipped back there, he decided he was going to run. He wasn't even going to kick. And when he did that, of course, all the Rolla Bulldogs, thinking that he might try to kick it, were still back in the middle of the field.
So they run on first down to Smith. He will dive down to around the 31-yard line. And Excelsior Springs in control of this game, really throughout most of the game. Jumped out to the 14-0 lead. Bulldogs did cut it in half, but then they scored late in the second quarter to give them a 20-7 lead at halftime, and they have added to that lead with the field goal and a touchdown here in the second half, and now have the ball at the Bulldog 31-yard line.
Cottrell has come out of the ball game. Evidently, his arm's still bothering him so much they're going to set him on the bench.
Matt Stillman will go into the free safety position, and now hit in the backfield, breaking a tackle and fighting their way inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Very strong offensive running game. Over 300 yards a game, and now we can see why. Brock Smith, again, the ball carrier, and he is just a super hard-nosed, hard runner, and he's a senior. Bamfield is a junior, and Simmons is a junior. Nessa is a senior, so they got half of this backfield coming back next year for the Tigers.
Well, I think what really helps them is the diversity that they have in the backfield. Simmons seems to be the best runner of the bunch. Smith seems to run the hardest, to be the hardest to tackle, and then Bamfield's very fast.
And they come with the I formation, handed to the fullback, and he powers ahead for a first down if he gets the spot of the ball. It's right at the 25-yard line, and the referee looking it over, and he will call at fourth down. So they are short by about a half a foot, it looks like, and a timeout going to be called. No, they're going to go for it here on fourth down and less than a yard to go without stopping the clock. Clock is running. We're down to 6 minutes and 40 seconds. The outcome of this game has been decided. The final score still in jeopardy as Morton comes up to the line of scrimmage with his Tiger teammates. And they line up in the I formation. Nessa, quarterback sneak. He's got the first down. So they will move the chains with 6 minutes and 23 seconds to go. And it looks like right now it is Excelsior Springs moving on to Faroe Field against, based on the last score we heard, the Jackson Indians. They were leading 14-7 in the fourth quarter over Jefferson City Helias. The Bulldogs, first undefeated regular season since 1954 when they went 10-0 this year and extended that streak to 12-0 until this afternoon. Handoff, they run it right up the middle, get maybe a yard on the play, and the clock continuing to move. 30-7 the score in favor of Excelsior Springs, an outstanding football team. And some people here in the press box were talking back at halftime that we might be watching the state champions this afternoon in Excelsior Springs. They have really put on an outstanding performance.
Well, they have, Tom, and you know, they have a lot of weapons out there that they can use, and they use them very well, despite the fact